Because there's a difference between a person who's doing the work and a function. I know you folding everything into everything, it's like origami. But how come we don't know? How come you can't tell us? How come you won't tell us who the coordinator is? I serve as the ranking member for the South and Central Asia Subcommittee, so I want to focus on that bureau today. And I do know that two of my Republican colleagues asked questions about an issue that I'm also going to ask you about. So you see that there's bipartisan concern. Would you agree with this statement? And it's a yes or no. The State Department should uphold our commitment to protect the Afghans who helped U.S. service members stationed in Afghanistan.
Of course.
Okay, thank you. Are you aware then, and I think you are, but I'm going to ask it anyway, are you aware of the law that a Republican-led Congress passed last year requiring a coordinator for the Afghan relocation efforts at the State Department or CARE?
I am aware of the CARE office.
Okay, so then you are aware of the law and you're clear on the congressional intent, yet your reorganization plan eliminates the CARE office and the administration has refused to brief us on your plan for Afghan allies or even give us a straight answer about who the coordinator is. And earlier you said that you're briefing the Congress 8 times a day. I don't know who you're briefing because, as you can tell, there are both Republicans and Democrats that care about this issue. So can you reveal who the coordinator is?
So the functions for the CARE office have moved to the South Central Asia Bureau at the Department of State.
Right.
And the and to the
But that doesn't answer the question
yeah.
about who the person is, who the coordinator is, because there's a difference between a person who's doing the work and a function. I know you folding everything into everything, it's like origami. But how come we don't know? How come you can't tell us? How come you won't tell us who the coordinator is?
Well, that would, I mean, the person who's in charge of the South Central Asia Bureau would be the Assistant Secretary for South Central Asia, so that would be the first person, I think.
Okay, well, that I would be interested. I think many of us would be interested in what that person is doing and have them answer some questions that we have, both Republicans and Democrats, about what's going on with our Afghan allies. Because I ask this because on Friday you fired the entire CARE leadership team. So anyone who would have had the experience and the expertise to efficiently manage Afghan relocations, which is complicated, you know, and Secretary Rubio came in here and we know he's doing 14 jobs. I do not think you should be giving 14 jobs to the 12 people that are left in the State Department who are handling such a complicated issue. So we have had, you know, we know that the CARE leadership team has been fired. We know that the CARE office has lost over 30 people since the beginning of the administration. And we know that that does not give you the capacity that you need to sustain the same pace of processing. And then on top of that, the administration is trying to terminate temporary protective status for Afghans living in the United States. So they're going to lose their work authorization, and then they're going to be deported back to Afghanistan, where the Taliban is waiting to get them. And these are people who actually work to protect U.S. service members overseas. I bring it up because everyone wants to, you know, last Congress, we had a hearing every week talking about Afghanistan. And now, very hard to get people to come and talk about Afghanistan and what is happening to our allies. And we are doing a disservice to our U.S. service members because what other country is going to say, I'm going to be willing to stick out my people's neck to help you when you're then going to sell my people down the river or back to the exact same people who are waiting to kill them? The second part of this is, do you know what Camp Asalia is?
I do not know what Camp Asalia is.
So the camp is a U.S. facility in Doha where 1,500 Afghan refugees are waiting to be resettled. And the administration is considering closing down the camp and then forcibly repatriating these Afghans who have been in limbo in this facility waiting for years. They're going to repatriate them back to Afghanistan, back into the hands of the Taliban. So the question I asked you in the beginning about the U.S. upholding its commitment to protecting these people who risked their lives to protect us, we have got to do better. And that's on you. That's the responsibility of you. That's the responsibility of the State Department. And I sent a letter to the chair of this committee asking us to continue to ask questions about this. And I'm going to continue to ask questions about this because it's about our credibility. You ain't talking about trade, you ain't talking about aid, you're talking about reneging on your credibility to make sure that our service members are protected when they go overseas to fight for us. And with that, Mr. Chair, I thank you for giving me extra time and I yield back.